Hi everyone, I'm back again with another video for you, and I'm keeping with this setup because I personally really like it. So today I am doing the adult tag, which the lovely Cara from Polly Pocket Beauty and Pippa from Flashing Time did, and they actually made this tag up, and I've just recently watched it and thought it looked quite fun. So I'm just going to give it a go really. Question 1, how old are you and where do you live? So I am 27, which doesn't sit well with me at all. I don't like that I'm this age. And I live in the countryside near Cambridge, sort of in between Cambridge and a city called Peterborough. And yeah, I've lived here for about 18 months. I don't love it where I am in the town I'm in. It's not really ideal for what me and Chris are looking for, but for now it will do. Question 2, where did you expect to be by this age? That's a really good question. To be honest, I didn't expect to be here. I did expect, well, not expect, but hoped to be married, which I've achieved, so yay! Obviously only because I've met the right person. If I hadn't have met Chris, then obviously I wouldn't want to be married, because yeah, I'm going off on a tangent now, but yeah, I was hoping to be married, which I am, to someone that I'm really happy with. Kind of expected to be further on in my career than I am. My career's kind of taken a bit of a backseat recently due to stuff, a number of things to be honest, which is another story. So I would say I expected to be further on in my career, and I think when you're younger, you kind of think that, you know, you're going to leave university or college or, you know, finish training in whatever, and, you know, jobs are just going to, you know, come for you. But in the current market and things, I think that's not really the case, and it's not very realistic. Question 3, are you on track to where you want to be now? I would say in terms of like my personal life and relationships and things, I would say definitely yes. When I was younger, I used to hang out with people that I wasn't really, it sounds really bad, but I didn't particularly like. I felt like I ought to hang out with them. But nowadays I've got quite a close-knit group of friends, and I'm quite selective who I hang out with, because nowadays I have such little time to see people, because there's so many people to see and so many things to do. I only want to make time for the people I actually like, which I think is fair enough. So on a personal level, I'm where I want to be. Career-wise, no. I'm kind of in limbo at the moment, and I really don't like it. I want to be doing what I'm qualified in doing, but my job is quite niche, so finding the right place and somewhere that's taking on employees at the moment is quite difficult for me. I am pursuing other options of other things I would like to do, but again, it's just getting that balance really. Financial wise, well, we're saving for a house at the moment, so yes, on track with buying a house, or saving for one, but I would like to have obviously more money to do more fun things, but you know, that's just part of life, which I don't think you really get told when you're younger. Like, you don't get told like, oh, you're gonna have to like save really hard for a house and go without and not be able to go out and do all the fun things you did when you were like 18, 19, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get a house and stuff. Question 4, what piece of advice do you wish people told you when you were young? When I was younger, I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do, so I kind of wish someone had said like, find something you enjoy and just go with it. And actually, no, this is what I really wish people had told me, is actually that academic routes aren't always, the way doesn't always work for people. I found when I was younger, A-levels just did not work for me. I didn't want to be there. I'd left school because I hated school. I went and did my A-levels at college, but I literally only lasted like 3 months or so. And even in those 3 months, I wasn't going to my lessons. I was too busy going off into town, spending time with my boyfriend, and just doing anything but my A-levels, because I just didn't want to be there. So I wish people had kind of told me that, you know, you don't have to go down the typical academic route. You can obviously like do apprenticeships and stuff, which is what I ended up doing in the end, but it kind of took me a while to find that. So don't panic if you don't want to carry on doing, you know, typical classroom studies. If you want to do something more hands-on, if you're a bit more of a creative person, you can go do something like that. Look into apprenticeships and things. That would be my advice. Question 5, what advice would you give to younger people now? I would say do what makes you happy, if that is possible, which it should be. I've got 2 younger brother-in-laws and they're in their sort of 18, 19 age bracket, and they've asked me before like, oh, what did you do and things like that, and I said to them like I wasn't academic and I kind of just fell into my career, etc. So you can find other routes, as I said, from your typical schooling. I would also say like experiment and explore different job opportunities. When you're younger it's a lot easier to kind of, I personally think, to chop and change and see what you like, see what you don't like. So explore and do things that actually really interest you. Question 6, do you still suffer from FOMO? I'm going to say yes, and I suppose that's kind of like a childish part of me coming out. But like if all my friends are going to something and I can't go, like, I don't know, I've got other arrangements or I'm working or something, I really hate missing out. I suffer majorly with FOMO, only if it's something I really want to be doing. If it's something I'm not bothered about, that everyone else is doing, then it doesn't really faze me. I'm quite happy to just do my own thing. Question 7, what is your opinion on living at home versus moving out in your 20s? So I moved out when I was 23, and I moved abroad, so it was all a bit of a big hit for me, and I also got married, so it was all like in a wanna. I personally didn't mind living at home. My mum works nights, Monday, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, so I had the house to myself for the first 3 days of the week, and then she used to go to her boyfriend's at the weekend, so I basically just had full reign of the house pretty much all the time. And I felt quite independent because obviously she worked nights. I'd get in from work and I'd have to like do my own cooking, things like that. So I personally didn't mind it. And also, like, you don't realise how much your parents do for you. Like, she'd do the cleaning and the cooking, well, not the cooking, the cleaning and the washing and stuff. So that was like one less thing on my list. She'd pay all the bills, I'd just pay her rent. And she'd get all the food shopping in, so she'd get all of, you know, the adult things done really, and I just, you know, did what I wanted in the evenings, like YouTube. And then I moved out, so like obviously now living in a house with Chris, yes, he does help me with shopping and cleaning and stuff, but it's still another thing you've got to factor into your life. So I do find that nowadays I have a lot less time to do all the fun things I wanted to do or want to do when I was younger. I can't just come in and sit on my laptop or play music in my room. I have to do adult things as well. But obviously having your own space is great. It's nice not to just have like a bedroom that is your own personal space. I've got a whole house now. I even got my own craft room, which is pretty damn cool, especially for doing, you know, my hobbies, which are YouTube and blogging. So that is a very good thing. And obviously being married, I really enjoy living with Chris and feel like we've really built like a nice little home for ourselves. Question 8, if you could change something in your adult life right now, then what would it be? My job. That is the thing I would like to change. I want to get back into what I'm trained in, as I've said. I also really would like to work for myself, so setting up my own business. But that takes time and money, but it is something I am looking into. Whether or not I pursue it, I don't know, but I am definitely interested in doing that. I'd also really like to work from home because I think it'd be quite nice. especially in like my little craft room. I just like being in here, and I find I work quite well in here. But yeah, I think that's the only thing. That, and obviously Chris and I want to buy a house, so if I could change it that we had a house now, that would be really nice, because it would be nice not to be paying rent anymore. But you know, I've got to be patient, it will come with time, and we just need to keep saving and keep working at it, and we'll get there. Question 9. Have you had any sudden realisations about life / relationships / friendships since hitting your 20s? I think the older you get, the smaller your friend group can become, and you realise who are your true friends. So like, I've got some friends in my friend group that I've known all through school pretty much, like secondary school anyway, so I've known them for a good 10 plus years, and I'm still friends with them now, so that kind of goes to show that they are true friends. But equally, I've also found that I've made some really awesome friends, especially through like blogging and stuff, and we share the same interests, so it's nice to have a different group of friends away from my school friends that I can hang out with, and not feel guilty about not hanging out with my, you know, school friends and stuff. So you can have different groups of friends and it's not going to be awkward. Whereas I know, obviously, when you're a kid and stuff, if so-and-so's friends with so-and-so, you can't be friends with them, and you know, all that stupid crap. So that's a realisation. Relationships, I would say, especially like in my teenage years, I had some pretty shitty boyfriends, or you know, just kind of like, why are you with that person? So I would say relationship wise, the older you get, you do become wiser on your choices, and I know it sounds so cliche, but like, once you know you found that person, you just know, and it's really weird, and I can't explain it, but honestly, that is the truth, from my experiences anyway. And then what was the other one? Life. I would say you realise that life isn't always rosy. It's not like in the films. You're not gonna like come out of college or university and, you know, get your dream job. Prince Charming isn't gonna come along straight away, and you know, you're not gonna necessarily get to where you want to be straight away. So like, don't feel disheartened if you are kind of in limbo. You just need to kind of know that you can get there, but you have to work for it. That's another thing. You need to work hard to get where you want to be. Question 10, and this is the final question, which is, do you feel like an adult? And the honest answer to that is no. I still feel like such a child. I still feel like I'm 17 in all honesty. So like, I must admit, there are times where Chris kind of has to be the adult and tell me off, or tell me to stop acting like a child, because I just get a bit carried away. I think the only time I do feel like adult is if someone else is in like crisis, or you know, something really bad's happened, or it's like a medical thing. I kind of take control, and I become a little bit mumsy actually, and I'm like, okay, right, this is what we're going to do, that sort of thing. But 90% of the time I feel like a child still, that's been sort of like let loose in a house with a car and a husband, like, oh, that's how I feel most of the time. Chris always jokes as well that in my head there's a little monkey just going la 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 la, which isn't really a bad analogy, because that's basically how I feel most of the time. Oh dear. Anyway, that is the end of the adult tag. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed answering these questions. I don't know if they've been of any use to anyone, but if they have, then yay! And if not, well, that's just the way I view adulting. I can't adult, especially after a hangover as well. That's something I've learned. Anyway, if you decide to do this tag, then link me to your video, because I'd love to watch. Thank you, Pippa, for coming up with this tag, and I will see everybody else in my next video. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Bye!